The next one we are going to discuss about expression based access controls. There are two methods to implement this security. One is on a web security expression and another one is a method expression. The first one will be the hash role. The hash role returns true if the current principal user has the specified role. Say for example, we have seen GKCodes as admin user and user with a user role and manager with a manager role. The second one will be has any role. So here it will take a group of roles separated by comma. It will return true if that current principal user has assigned with multiple roles. The next one will be that authority. The authority, as we discussed, so it will return true value if that current principal user has that particular permissions. The next one will be has any authority. So here it will once again take the string of permissions separated by comma. So any principal user, this will return true if any principal user having all those permission. Anyone who is having that particular permission can able to access your endpoint URL. Next one is a principal. Principal is nothing but your current user. It allows direct access to the principal object. Okay, so you can able to retrieve that information whatever you required from that principal object like ID, name, etc. The next one is the authentication. Authentication, it allows direct access to the current authentication object obtained from the security context. The next one will be the permit all. It will allow all the users to access your endpoint URLs. Deny all always evaluates to false and it deny all that request to the particular endpoint URL. In principle, right, user, there are multiple types. So the first one is anonymous method will return true if the current user is which basically means the user didn't log in and just browsing the content. The next one is remember me user. This method will return true if the current user is a remember me user. This is the special feature available in Spring Security. So we will see it in the upcoming episode. The next one is authenticated. This method will return true if the current user is not an anonymous user, which means the user who logged in with his credentials, so we can able to get those information as part of our principal object, which means basically he is an authenticated user. The next one is fully authenticated. So this method will return true if the current user is not an anonymous user nor an remember me user. The next one will be how to implement this security at method level using method security expressions. So for that here we are having nearly 3 to 4 annotations given by the Spring Security. One is pre-authorize, post-authorize, post-filter and pre-filter. Pre-authorize, so this annotation decides whether a method can actually get invoked or not. Okay, for example, if you want that a particular endpoint URL is used by only the users who is having role as user, then you have to give it as a pre-authorize. Within bracket we have to give hash role of a user. The next one is a post-authorize. It will be perform an access control check after that method has been invoked. If you want to perform any validation, suppose that method invocation on that responses, then this would be the better one. So this particular method is leastly used. The next one will be the post and the pre-filters. So similar to that, if you want to perform any filters on that return collection object based upon that filter object, then these two expressions will be helpful. Similar way, post filter will get executed after that method got invoked and perform that filter operation. Pre-filter will work before that method got invoked and removes wherever that validation is returns as a false.